Welcome into Around the ACL. Michelle Thompson here with Trey Ryder and Anthony Ione, coming off of Open number 3 in Richmond, Virginia. Lots of fun cornhole action this weekend. We're definitely going to get into all of that. We also are going to continue our fun ACL Pro Draft that we started last week, and then talk about some new stuff going on in the ACL. But Trey, first, how was your weekend?
It's a good weekend. Nothing too exciting. I do have to give a shout out to Jenna Campbell, who is on the ACL team. I don't know if it's for funsies or whatever, but for years she has put on they have a big Christmas show here in the Charlotte area. There's like 200 booths. You create a booth, you sell whatever, right? And it's just like if Santa Claus threw up like into a big, huge convention center. It's like all Christmas everywhere. And so for years, she has essentially ran a booth to sell Christmas decor. So we got to check that out this weekend. And she actually won an award for best booth in the entire show. So nice. She was killing it. So Southern Christmas show. So if you're in the Charlotte area, check that out. Go to Southern Creations. But it was really cool. It really just had an opportunity to go check all of that out, and then watch some football and cornhole the rest of the weekend. So that took up the entire weekend.
So you're not going to talk about the fact that we're playing each other in fantasy?
Well, the thing is, by the time this comes out, we already have known. But Michelle has got a lot of points that she needs to score.
I do. But I got a lot of players going tonight, Monday night.
Yes. So
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, everybody. Root for Meesh.
If Trey wins, he is going to be by himself atop the entire ACL staff fantasy standings.
It's not allowed. We can't let this happen, you guys. Here's the stupid thing. I'm in 10th out of 12, but I have like the third most points. That is so stupid. I hate this game. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Although we have the flattest league I've ever seen. I mean, it's crazy. The very top of the league is 7-3. The very bottom of the league is 3-7. Mm-hmm. So all 12 teams only have a gap of 4 games, which is insane. Usually you got someone that's 0-12. I mean, 0-10, 1 and whatever, or another person's running away with it. It is everybody is in playoff contention still. Everybody, which is insane.
Better be, Anthony. How about you? How was your weekend?
Oh man, I got sick. I got bottomed out on Friday.
Oh no!
I'm on the up though, but I had to fight through it because we got tryouts tonight. So this is the actual tryouts for high school basketball for little man. So we've been shooting our brains out. So shot a lot of shots. 500 minimum a day is the goal. We got about 700 up yesterday, which was good. Like a solid 2 hours of shooting. But it all comes down tonight. So pretty excited for him to go out there and just do what he can do. He's going to be probably the youngest, smallest in the mix of making varsity. There's at least 11 dudes over 6 foot. There's 8 dudes that are 17, 18, and he's going in there at 15 years old, 5'9", and he's going to do his thing to make the team. So we'll know tonight.
Did he just grow already? What in the world?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He was averaging like 2 or 3 inches a year, and then like a half an inch this year. It just stopped. So tryouts tonight, and then coming right off. As soon as tryouts are done, they go right in and they pick the team. So the varsity team will be selected tonight. So it's a big day for my guy.
Big day for me in LA.
Big day. Yeah. I mean, as his rebounder, 6:30 this morning, we were in there getting 500 shots up this morning. You know, it's a grind every day, whether it's a morning, a late evening. So I tell you what, I tell them, you know what, same thing we talk about our cornhole guys. You can live with the results. Like just put the work in. You go to sleep at night saying, I did everything that I could. And then you live with the result, whatever it's going to be. So he's going to be able to live with the result. He's definitely put the work in.
Yeah, and that's actually something I was just thinking about recently because like Rome's in rec soccer. It just ended, but he told me like some of the parents will pay the kids if they stop a goal as a goalie or make a goal. And I'm thinking, well, then we're just rewarding the outcome, right? We don't control the outcome. You need to reward the progress, the putting in the time and the effort. What are they doing to get that goal? Not the actual making the goal themselves. But that's a whole tangent I can go on. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're rewarding the effort.
100%. I mean, even in the weight room, they did all their maxes as a part of the tryouts earlier in the week. Again, he's only 5'9". He's 139 pounds. He squatted 325 pounds. He weighs 139. He did 38 push-ups, which was the second in the group. He was third in the mile run. He was second in pull-ups. So they kind of do all these little combine style things. He was up there in vert. So it is what it is. I said, buddy, you're good. Like,
yep.
Whatever happens tonight happens. You put all the work in. The result is what it is.
Exactly. Doing the right thing, Anthony.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into open number 3. Who else was doing the right thing? Logan Chamberlain and Gavin Cano. I mean, no surprise there to take down doubles. It was definitely just a matter of time. They were always right in there. This is definitely a dominant team. I believe Jake was saying this is the number 1 team, which now what about Mark Richards and Tony Smith? I guess they're just cast aside in Jake's mind. But definitely going to be top of the pack. But Trey, thoughts on doubles?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't know how much I can really say if I want to sit here and talk about how good Logan Chamberlain and Gavin Cano are. I mean, newsflash, they're really good. They did kind of what was expected. But here's the good news, right? When we talk about a team going into a season, they really just have to find a way to make something of what they're doing, right? They have to show that they are there, right? I kind of talked about this. In this part of the season, I'm not looking for you to be dominant. I'm looking for you to be relevant, right? And so a lot of the theme that I want to talk about today are people that have checked that box that says, okay, they're in the conversation this year. And it's going to come a time during the signature season where they're going to have to excel at a high level, continue what they were doing in order to really have the best season they possibly can. But the biggest thing that Chamberlain and Cano could do this early in the season is say, okay, there wasn't something wrong with this partnership, right? Because if they had gone a couple opens and all of a sudden they're not winning and we're like, was this a bad idea? Like, who knows? That's not the case anymore, right? I really believe that in this instance, they just needed to check a box, and they checked that box. Now, I think it's a little bit of pressure off until the signature season comes, and then they're going to have some time to continue to get better and better as a team. So that's a really, really good thing for me. When we talk about checking a box, okay, for me, Jacob Trzcienski checked that box. Well, I'll obviously talk about his singles performance here in a little bit. But with him and Jamie Graham, again, this was the number 2 team in the world last year. We hadn't seen them so far at the Opens. They hadn't played together. And so coming out like they didn't miss a beat. I mean, just these two in particular, exactly what you wanted them to be. The rounders followed by the bracket is a long day. Again, we continue to talk about that as that being stamina heavy. You're not going to need that at the signatures. And so because of that, I do have a little bit of faith that team can be really, really good. Tommy Sliker. First pairing up with Berkeley Pear. I mean, what in the world going on here?
Where
right?
you been?
Just wow. It was great to see Berkeley, right? And throwing like, he had been in previous years. So like that was really, really cool to see and see that partnership come together. And Tommy Sliker, again, continues to build respect, more so with the national landscape. I continue to say he's someone that at these Rock Hill Regionals is someone that plays really, really well, but you're in this absolute gauntlet. And sometimes when you see someone consistently come in second and third place, you say to yourself, well, can they not just win? I mean, what's the thing? It's more so that this is a loaded place that he plays, and I think he's seeing the returns on those performances.
Wait, Trey,
Jeremiah Stewart.
Name? Is he going to have to change his name? He's not going to be No Love anymore. You're giving him way too much love.
Too much love.
I know. Too much love, Sliker. That's what it is. So too much love. So
all right, now you get to try that one on.
Yeah, Jeremiah Stewart and Jacob Harrison. I got to see them firsthand at the second event of the season, the second Open in Winter Haven. And we were saying to ourselves, whoa, is this a fluke? I mean, you remember they went all the way. They made their bracket final. I mean, a team that was really, really poised, making some deep runs, making big shots after big shots. And we just didn't know if they had the staying power. Again, I don't know what the true ceiling of this team is, but now to go into a loaded field like this for the second straight event and find yourselves in a top 5 finish is incredible. And I think that really speaks to the work that they've put into it. AJ Sims and Devin Harbaugh, for me, again, this had to be a check a box, okay? Are you there? Are you close to being there? And for me, for them to have a top 5 finish in this really, really deep field, and sometimes they win one more game, they win 2 more games, we're talking about a finals appearance, and other times they may lose one before that and get a top 10 finish instead of top 5. For me, being in the top 5, that shows me that they are poised. They're ready to go. They're focused, right? Only other team that, for me, that I think is maybe worth mentioning on here, a lot of people are going to talk about Mark Richards and Tony Smith and want to say all these different things. I don't care. I'm not worried. This team has got enough equity in who they are to me in order to wait until I'll even give them signature number 1, maybe even signature number 2. This team in the second half of this coming season will be the best or second best or third best team in the world. Can they repeat what they did last year? Probably not, because what they did last year was unprecedented. But that doesn't mean this team can't be just an absolute dominant team and continue to build their legacy. So not worried about those guys.
Anthony, are you worried?
See, I'm actually going to start there. I have a different. I'm worried. Let me just kind of break it down a little bit. There's a reason why I'm worried. What the hell's going on with Tony Smith? One of my favorite players to watch in the game, but it's painful. And here's the reason why. We've seen this mid-pitch regrip for whatever mental lapse is going on take out careers before. I mean, we have to go to Derek King. He's the highest profile player to suffer from this and literally ended his career. He was never the same. He was never able to recover from that mid-pitch regrip. It actually, Meesh, I'd love to go to you, Dr. Meesh. I mean, I'd love to hear your psychological analysis on this, because Derek King literally went down the path of psychological help. And it went on for months and months, and he tried to implement something in his game. He was never able to shake it, and it ended his career. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Meesh, if we take that real kind of psychological approach?
Well, what worries me is that he says he doesn't know why he does it.
Yeah.
So they asked him, like, why do that? I don't know. Like, the attitude towards it is what worries me, because if he doesn't think it's something that needs to be addressed, like it's not something that's a trigger for something else, then there's going to be no movement towards trying to figure it out. I mean, they always say, in sports psychology, when you get yips or something like that, go back to the basics. I'm a big fan of that. Like, trying to really just strip everything away. And can I just consistently slide down the middle again without the regrip? Can I just kind of lock back in? You go back to maybe teaching someone how to do something, how to play cornhole. It puts you, like, anything that makes you feel like you're in that superior position again, is basically the advice when that kind of stuff happens. And I just don't see Tony doing any of those things.
Yeah, for Tony Smith to pitch an 8.5 on a tournament with a negative DPR, we know that's completely out of character. Might be his worst tournament ever as a pro. And as a fan of his game and a fan of him as a person off the boards, I'm really pushing for him to figure it out, but I'm nervous, and only because I witnessed it firsthand with Derek King. I mean, we had private conversations on the side. We went through little things and tried different things. I know he was working with, a doctor level person to figure this out, and he was never able to implement something that got him back on track. I think this is more serious than most would think. I know Tony Smith's a pretty whatever guy, and he's kind of shaking it off right now, but I think he's got to figure this out before him and Mark really make a move. My 2 cents. I know me and Trey don't agree on this, but gosh, you got to figure that out. And if we look at Mark Richards and Jamie Graham right now, I think they're both going through this same dynamic in doubles. They're absolutely cooking on their side of the boards, but bleeding points from the other side. What's actually crazy is there was a moment a couple years ago where Richards was coming off of his partnership with Lopez and Graham was coming off of his partnership with Modlin, where they were both free agents and they gave each other kind of this little split second look, right? It didn't happen. And it's just a fun fact, and definitely wasn't relevant last year with the success that Mark Richards and Tony Smith had. But fast forward to this year where they're both absolutely killing in doubles and their partners are kind of falling behind. It kind of makes you go, kind of what if. But Trey, for me, if we go back a couple years ago, every single time Sarah Cassidy made it to a championship bracket match, we saw that hard right to left show its ugly face. This is the same thing that JT is dealing with, but only in doubles. I think it's those white bags that Graham and Trzcienski are throwing in doubles. I think they're too slow for JT. He throws that natural tilt, and it's going to exaggerate the right to left movement, and it's absolutely killing him. He's clearly throwing Graham's bags in doubles, because if we look to singles, Graham was throwing the white bags, and JT came out with a completely different set, and the dude absolutely dominated. In this case, I think because it's Jamie Graham and he's always able to just dominate with whatever bag, I would love to see them at the next Open. Just do it for me one time. Take JT's bags that he played in singles, play those in doubles. We might see the slightest, if not even unnoticeable, dip in Jamie Graham's game and a drastic improvement in JT's game, and I think it'll make a huge difference.
Are they both rippers that they're throwing? Do you know?
I think so. Did you get a good look at those grayish bags that JT was throwing in singles?
Someone said they were the Ventura bags, or is that Windsor?
Could be.
One of them had Airmail City, one of them had Ventura.
I agree with Anthony, though. There's no reason to pick any. Jamie Graham would throw a Ziploc bag full of sand and be okay with it. Like, put whatever bag JT wants in his hand, and because there's some people that are just the one little thing can kind of just cause them to go a different direction. Jamie Graham is not that guy.
Not his trigger.
I think part of the reason that makes Jamie Graham and even throw Mark Richards into this conversation, when was the last time you heard either one of them make an excuse? Honestly, I mean, besides he just played better. Like, I don't even think that's an excuse. I think it's just an observation. Like, these guys don't do that. So I agree with you 100%.
They have unwavering confidence, and they don't use game conditions as triggers for their confidence, right? So like a Tony Smith, for example, if the boards don't play the way he thinks they should, it's a trigger for him. It's gonna dip his confidence even a little bit. You're not seeing that with Jamie or with Mark at all.
Yeah, and I think part of it is too the way that those guys are so analytical when they approach the game. One thing that I think that they're doing, whether or not they're doing it intentionally, is they are actually reframing it as a problem to solve and a puzzle to figure out. Ooh, the conditions are slightly different. That's going to mean I have to do, what if I did this and I approached it differently? And that puts them in a mindset of all of a sudden now, this is a game to figure out. This is a puzzle. This is a logic problem to have of how I can attack it differently in order to get the best results instead of things aren't going my way.
Well, it's process oriented, right? So if going into a process orientation is good, but going into an emotional state that's worry or anxiousness, obviously not good.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see how dominating Jamie Graham's performance was in doubles. If you just looked at the last three games, this is going to be the king seat, the bracket final, the semifinal. Let me just break down the scoring, how it went a little bit for you. In the king seat match, Jamie Graham scored 15 of the 21 points. In the bracket final, Jamie Graham scored 20 of the 22 points that they scored. And in the semifinal, in that loss, Jamie Graham scored 14 points and Jacob Trzcienski scored 5. It's just as scary on the other side when you look at the points allowed. In the last three games, Jamie allowed 3 points, 2 points, 3 points. Jacob Trzcienski allowed 9, 13, and 19. And if you add them all up, if you look at their just last 4 games, Jamie Graham outscored his side of the board 61-15. And Jacob Trzcienski was outscored 51-28. Jamie Graham was scoring 3x more points in the games when you look at the average over the last 4 games. It was absolutely mind-blowing. But like I said, I think JT is one bag selection away from completely flipping things around. Some final thoughts in doubles. I thought Tanner's switch to the throwing foot forward was interesting. This is an OG, a guy, you just don't go in and change something, 12 years into your career, but he was throwing foot forward, and it looked pretty good. I thought that was interesting. Coming off of last week, we talked about a close eye on Matt Guy. Never saw the roll bag, at least on the stream court. Could have, maybe some stuff was happening on the side. Never saw Matt Guy's roll bag. Going to keep a close eye on that. You already mentioned Tony Sliker. I want to throw in Landon Crabtree in there for a second. Holy smokes, did he dominate in doubles? Both guys just barely below an 11 on the tournament and blew DPRs up. Probably the best tournament Landon Crabtree has ever thrown. Got to wrap it up with Chamberlain and Cano. We talked about them last week being due for a win. And no surprise. And I think it's just a nice reward, like Trey was saying, for their hard work and that consistent grind. There was a memorable moment for me last season. We had Mark Richards coming off of a big win. We get him into the booth. Jake and I were able to interview him, and he said, nobody realizes how hard this game is. And he really emphasized the grind that goes on, just to be relevant. And if we look at the first two opens for Cano and Chamberlain, they had a bracket third, a bracket fourth. And for them, it's not grossly motivating. They're expecting to win brackets at least every time. So I think it was good timing for them to pull out a win, a little bit of a motivation going into the first signature. And it could be huge confidence-wise and just maybe motivates them to keep that grind and that practice going. I think for them, what makes them so tough is their combined floors are, I think, the highest in the pro division right now. You're going to get two sides of the boards that are actually going to just beat you up. We're seeing kind of a dominating player right now in Richards, with Smith kind of lagging behind. Same thing with Trzcienski and Graham. But these two guys just consistently hit you from both sides of the boards. If they're not the best team in the league this year, they're going to be number 2. But right now, my favorite doubles team in the pro division.
Oh, you kind of agree with Jake over there. Okay.
Yeah, one little nugget too. Logan Chamberlain just moved into 7th all time in the title list as well. He tied Adam Hissner.
Wow.
Start comparing the length of careers there. I mean, Chamberlain's at 12 titles, ranked 7th. He's now just 3 away from Eric Davis to go to 6.
Okay, Logan, get after it this season. Moving into singles, you guys talked about Jacob Trzcienski a little bit, and you talked about Tony Smith's double clutch. But Trey, what about Ryan Windsor's performance, and what about his double clutch? What's going on there? Because that's the best he's ever done.
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm talking about Mr. Windsor, substitute teacher. Thank you very much.
That's my bad.
Class is in session, and
the respect he deserves.
Literally, I said to myself, I'm watching Ryan Windsor play Cash Chamness on the live stream. I'm like, that's literally his teacher. Like that's that's happening right now. So Mr. Windsor, Mr. Windsor looked good.
Mr. Windsor.
Like, I don't want to hear about this full-time cornhole baloney anymore, right? I mean, the guy starts teaching, molding young minds, and all of a sudden is better. Like this, Ryan Windsor was nasty this weekend. Like, I mean,
it was wild.
I mean, look, if we start talking about Cash Chamness, the one time you don't want to play Cash Chamness right now is in a long game, right? If I want to beat Cash is beatable if he gets off early and all of a sudden, Cash will lose some games 21-5, right? And that's not a reflection of skill. It's just a reflection of when it's not there, it's there. The problem is when you start getting them into 30-plus rounds, you start saying to yourself, man, I don't want to play this kid because he's just going to go and go and go. But Ryan Windsor put on a clinic. I can't enough give credit to what Windsor did. I mean, just an incredible run. And this is the best version. It's early to say that, but it's the best version I've seen in years. And so hopefully he can continue building on that. But let's go through kind of what I talk about. Who's checking the box, right? Early in this new season. Landon Crabtree, half of Team Apple Juice, continues to check the box, right? Looks really, really good across all the different events he's playing in singles and doubles. Really like what he's putting together. And I think he's going to be there for a while and going to be near the top. And people will continue to have to, keep an eye on Landon Crabtree. He's going deep in some of these brackets. Gabe Clausen, checking another box. I'm going to hold what I'm saying for Gabe Clausen until we get to women's juniors and seniors, but he continues to check that box. Tony Forbes continues to play at a high level, right? And I just wanted to see him continue to stay up there. What do you know? They don't play together, and neither one of them does well in doubles, like we were just screaming about and prior to the show before the Open.
Did you hear him talk about that, Trey?
No, I didn't actually.
That? Okay, so they asked him, like, why wouldn't you and Spencer play together for this event? And he said that him and Ethan had agreed to run it back, and when Eric and Ryan, I guess, paired together, so did they in the same tournament, right? So they were all agreed, whatever. And this was a long time ago. But then he said, had I known, we were going to win Open number 2, I never would have, done that. But it was kind of already all set. So anyways, yeah, he agreed.
Excuses. Figure it out, Forbes and Fabianar. If you play another event without each other that you both do again, I hope you go 0-3. I hope you go 0-3 the next time you try to do something like that. Baloney. Emacs look good. I think he continues. Now, the thing is with Emacs, and sometimes I see this with guys like Emacs, I put almost Emacs in like the Ian Cripps category. It's like isolated from everybody else. You're talking about like a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid. Incredible at a sport, playing with the best in the world. The problem is he's got 6 juniors ahead of him that just, that sometimes overshadow him. But he looked really good this weekend, and I thought that was, a big part of it. Tommy Sliker, again, I already too much love going on for To Love Sliker, so I can't talk much more about that. And Jeremiah Stewart, again, he gets another shout out in singles because he continues to hang around with the best in the world.
Yeah, I guess I picked the wrong one. I think I said Jacob Harrison on the buy or sell last week. I think I picked the wrong one, or really both of them are doing great, but Jeremiah Stewart, very impressive. All right, Anthony, singles, what you got?
Yeah, listen, I'm old school. I love seeing old school players show relevance in the new age of this game. So Ryan Windsor versus Graham for me in the semifinal was fire. I mean, we have to go back to 2019. It was national number 2. Ryan Windsor beats Matt Guy in the semifinals, then Trey Birchfield in the final to win his first national singles titles. And this is pre-rollbag at a national level. So Matt Guy was at the top of the game if we talk pre-rollbag. Just to put this in time, this is 2 nationals before when Noah Wooten beat Jamie Graham in the finals, showcasing that rollbag. That's when the rollbag went viral nationally. So that's kind of when that moment was. And then it was 2021 at the final chase, National 4. I'm sitting right behind the boards with Uncle Bob and watched Ryan Windsor take down his second singles title, going through his partner at the time, Isidro Herrera. So, guys, it was Ryan Windsor in this game. Sorry, 1 second. I lost my spot here. Oh, yeah. So we had all but lost Ryan Windsor, right? If we go back to Worlds last year, I mean, the dude's talking about hanging up his bags. Like you were saying, to focus on his career, and however it worked out, he landed the job and still was able to maintain this cornhole thing. And we saw Windsor start to fall in the ranks the last couple years for whatever reason that was, focusing again on whatever this passion was going to be, this new passion. None of us expected to see what was going to happen this weekend. Probably his best run in years. I mean, just going through the players, Fabianar, Gore, Cash, Jamie Graham threw a 10.41 over 159 rounds in bracket play, and doing it with the slick side of his bag. So he was committing to the slick side, flipping over to the block when he needed it on the sticky side. Airmail was gas. He was hitting every airmail, but then using, that little hop bag that he has. I wouldn't call it a roll. It's like kind of a Sarah Cassidy, kind of a Holland style hop bag with a cut. Whatever it was a recipe for success. I couldn't be more proud of Ryan Windsor and really wish him all the success this season. Some miscellaneous stuff. Yes.
Anthony, don't you think if you flip your bag to the slick side, you've officially aged? That's when you really you're showing your age there. So Ryan, man, becoming an adult there.
Honestly, if you can throw the slick side of your bag as your slide bag, I think that's the best recipe in the game. I mean, we all know how much hole friendliness you're going to get, right? It's easier to push. It's going to get more movement on vibration. And then only flip it over to stick when you want to block. He wasn't trying to block anybody. So I didn't hate it, but I did love that he did flip it to a stick side block and an airmail when the appropriate time. But yeah, it does kind of show some age. That's funny. Couple miscellaneous points. The Eric Davis match. Come on, you're up 16-1 on cash, and he loses it. I mean, he blows the lead trying too much, in my opinion. Shot selection. I can't emphasize how important this is in the game. I think Mark Richards is the best shot selector in the game, and I think that's why he's so successful. You got to consider the risk versus reward and make the appropriate shot. And there's so many times in the game with how many shots players have these days, you're left with so many 50-50 shots. I could airmail that. I could roll that. I could push through all of it with a slick side. I think you need to know your strengths, really look at who's standing next to you, and make good shot selections. And it costs him the game. And I think that's a good transition to Jamie Graham, who loses to Windsor in the final. You know, Jamie Graham, the best player in pro cornhole right now, in my opinion, made a bad decision that cost him the game. I mean, he's chasing these open board drag bags, and it's kind of becoming his MO. I mean, if we go to last year, we saw him showcase that so much on the broadcast. But what's tough is it's actually earned him wins. It's actually kept him in matches. So it's kind of hard to say. I just remember sitting there with Jake going, oh my gosh, Jamie Graham, please don't throw another open board airmail. And then he would, and he would get it, you know? So it's like, okay, that was the right decision. It's a hindsight thing, but in this case, it cost him. I mean, Ryan gifted him a 9 spot early. Jamie Graham's up 13-3 to start the match. 99% of the time, you're down 13-3 on Jamie Graham, you're cooked. There's no way, but he beat himself really trying too much, I think, with the drag bag airmail. One other thing I wanted to highlight, just a couple things. I think the game is reaching new heights, kind of looking at the whole tournament stats. We had 24 players over a 10, and we're talking about well over 100 rounds. That's absolutely insane. Cash Chamness, 208 rounds, is the most rounds I've ever seen in a tournament. There could be more. It's the most I've seen. Trey, I don't know if you've seen it more than 208, but that's absolutely crazy. I think that's going to show that player conditioning is going to quickly become a major factor in the game. I mean, we're seeing Matt Guy removing the step in a strategic effort to improve his conditioning. And my final thought just goes to Jacob Trzcienski, and nobody put more bags in the hole than JT. Points allowed per game on average in the tournament, Meesh. He allowed 7 points on average. That is insane. And you're talking about guys like Matt Guy gets 4 points. Skunks Sammy Soto in game 1. Sammy Soto again gets 2. Gabe Clausen, best player in the tournament last Open, gets 5. And then he takes down Windsor, allowing 8 points in the final. I'll say it again, just because of how good JT looked in doubles. If he can figure it out in doubles on his side of the board across from Jacob Trzcienski and continue that all season, I think they take down 4 signatures and a world championship. It comes down to JT carrying over that singles performance in doubles.
Yeah, down to the bags. That's what it's coming down to, according to Anthony. So pretty good advice there. In women's seniors and juniors, Sam Finley is able to take down singles. Doubles went to Caitlyn Allshouse and Riley Schaff. Dominance from those women in all the events they've played in, always getting that win. Seniors, Matt Guy, no surprise there. It's going to be interesting to see if he can take all of them that he plays in at this point. Steve Schrader, Donald Cupp, I believe they also have won at least another one. And then juniors, Gabriel Clausen, I gave my hot take. He's going to win everything he plays. You guys looked at me like I was crazy. He continues, and Ethan Farias and Gabe Clausen take doubles. Quick thoughts, Trey, on women's seniors and juniors.
Death, taxes, and Allshouse Schaff winning women's doubles, Matt Guy winning senior singles, and Gabe Clausen winning junior singles. I mean, at this point, like it's almost like, I know Matt Guy's only played 2 of them, but like it's gonna continue. And
he loses early, and he just comes back. Like that's what's so weird.
Allshouse and Schaff, nobody's coming even close. I mean,
they're still good.
Look, I don't want to play any one of those 3 combination of those guys right now. So,
agreed.
Yeah.
I just love the dynamic you get from those girls, how you get kind of 2 different styles of play. Allshouse is never going to try a roll bag. She's got a really strong airmail. And then you got Schaff on the other side who can complement her kind of running of bags airmail with a roll. I think that combination is lethal. I actually thought Allshouse was going to take down women's singles. I thought it was a lock in round 18 in that final game. I mean, she came out of the losers bracket, takes the first scoop on Finley, and then goes into round 19 up 20-15, and she was throwing really well. but it's Samantha Finley. You know, I mean, she's one of the greatest players ever. She's a legend. Takes it down on the clutch, comes back and wins
Sam
that one
Finley
down
might be just
20-15.
below that tier of like it has to happen now at this point. But
Yeah.
Team Apple Juice, guys. Team Apple Juice.
Or Treehouse. That's their other
stuff.
nickname. Landing Crab Tree, Caitlyn Allshouse, so Treehouse. I like them both.
Team Apple Juice.
All right,
Treehouse.
Whatever one you want to pick. All right. Quick introduction to something new coming to the ACL, Corporate Cornhole. So really excited to bring Cornhole to your workplace. So if you're interested in bringing Cornhole to your workplace, whether that's for like a team appreciation day, a team bonding day, or some other stuff, I got a website on there, tiny URL, bring Cornhole to work. So tinyurl.com/bring Cornhole to work. It'll be a quick form you can fill out. But I'm excited to be able to go into these companies and not only bring Corporate Cornhole so you guys can have a lot of fun, but also bringing some of the stuff from my research and my new status as a doctor to bring connection into the workplace. Got some keynotes and different strategies to bring connection and boost morale and things like that. So something I'm really excited about and having a lot of fun with.
Okay, and by the way, we kind of just glossed over Dr. Michelle Thompson.
Yep.
Round of applause for
yes, long time coming.
Getting that
long time
title.
So.
What happens there? Do you get something in the mail that's like, okay, now you can actually say it?
No, I'm not officially graduated yet because they basically it happens like at certain times of the year that you get to like officially graduate. But basically what it was all coming down to was there was some confusion at the end of last quarter. I was supposed to be done last quarter. It didn't happen. So I was basically fighting, like, I'm not paying for another quarter because you guys messed up. And that finally all cleared up last Monday where they're like, you're good. You don't owe anything. You're done. So I was like, and now I can officially say it. But technically I could have been calling myself that for the last few weeks because my dissertation is officially published. And it's all out there. So everything is complete and hopefully should have a diploma in the next couple of months. But yeah, officially, legally can say that. So we're
wait, so you're saying if you have something, if you want a corporate event at your event, you can literally bring a doctor to come teach it? That's pretty sick.
That's right. I mean, I'm not going to run the tournament unless it's local. We have our directors for that, but I will definitely come into the workplace either virtually or in person to work with companies, work with the C-level executives, on coaching and things like that, and then work with the teams to bring connection, to reduce silos and everything that makes the teams not work together. Not just in corporates, that could be any kind of group where we need connection. To me, my whole platform that I stand on is that connection cures. And I think Cornhole is one of the best ways that we can show that in a fun, playful way. So I have a really cool idea to bring Cornhole connection lanes into workplaces on a daily basis. That's something that I can't wait to start trying in different workplaces. I think it's going to be huge to bring together different team members who don't normally maybe even talk. And there's some cool stuff coming with that. So all fun things on the horizon and how I want to use this degree. But the main thing is I would just want to bring more connection to the world and starting in these larger groups. Okay. Going on a more fun note, we started our ACL Pro Draft last week. We ran out of time, so I wanted to finish it off. I'll give you a prompt, Trey and Anthony, and then you tell me who you're choosing. So which 3 ACL pros would you take on a cross-country road trip, Trey?
Yeah, so this is, you got to get real strategic here. When you're talking about a road trip, you got to have someone that's got like, one, you got to have a driver, right? So when I think about like, you know, people that will go cross country, like first, didn't AJ Sims drive like 300 hours?
Why don't we ask Jeff? Let's ask Jeff McCarriger of if AJ Sims and Braden Wilson drove 20 hours.
I feel like AJ Sims and Braden Wilson, actually, I know they're not playing together this year, would actually be a hilarious group to road trip with. One, because you know they can do it. And two, because you know AJ will, I mean, I don't know if he's the driver, but I'm designating him as the driver right now. And Braden will keep you attentive the entire time. Like
You're lying. That kid's sleeping. He is sleeping. You are lying to yourself if you think he's going to entertain you. Absolutely. He's a kid. They are snoozing.
Yeah, I don't think you want any of the Brat Pack in your car, dude. They're going to be passed out in the back for sure.
All of them asleep. Just bored out of your mind.
And if you happen to pass out, you know you're about to get clipped. They're going to take something of you.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't fall asleep the whole time. That's
right. Anybody in that Brat Pack, forget.
They're out.
It's a hard no.
Anthony?
Yeah, I agree with Trey. It was strategic. And as you're saying that, I'm like trying to think about this. My first thought is going to a cross-country golf road trip.
Okay.
I think that's pretty obvious. I'd go Ethan Walker, Tony Smith, Tanner Halbert, and Tony Smith was on the mic a lot this weekend, so we got to hear him talk a little bit. This question actually came up at one point. He was putting Ethan Walker at the top of the golf with Tanner Halbert kind of hovering right behind. He said there's a bunch of players that are kind of right around Halbert's level, so I think that would be a sweet foursome, be able to go on a golf road trip with those guys.
I like it. Which 3 ACL pros would you cast on a reality show with you, Trey?
Oh my goodness.
Well, first I'm putting Meesh on there because Meesh is reality show junkie.
True.
I have to go with you have to bring some type of drama, right? And so I'm thinking who is going to cause a little bit. I might put Adam Hissner. Imagine taking Adam Hissner out of cornhole and putting him into any other social setting. I mean, we are talking about, I don't know if it's going to be good or appropriate TV, but it will be TV.
It won't be appropriate.
He'll get a lot of screen time, that's for sure.
I thought about others like Miranda. Miranda Coy's not a bad choice in that instance, right? But it sometimes Miranda puts off a little bit of a front, and so if I can get her to be extra dramatic, on purpose, that's actually a really good duo. Like Hissner and Coy both going into a reality show that could literally set places on fire. So I that's at least who I would start with.
Anthony?
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, okay, the type of reality show is important. Like if you're
Survivor.
Something strategic like Survivor or Amazing Race where you got to work really well together, or are we going into Love Island type stuff? Or I think for the dramatic effect, the number one person I would grab would be Lori Dool. I think you get what you get. It's like that kind of neck rolling, snapping kind of thing. This is how it is. Then you might as well throw Miranda Coy in there because she'll get Miranda going and the two of them get going. But then when you get Miranda alone, she's got a completely different, kind of a soft, personality. So you get two sides of that. And maybe throw in for a dramatic effect, maybe throw in Jordan Power as well.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one. I was going to say Sam Finley, I just think is hilarious. As a human, just if you have lots of conversations with Sam, I don't know how she'd do on camera because she's not her favorite thing, but she's great. Which ACL pros would you pick to babysit your kids for a weekend, Trey?
I only need one, and it's Rosie Streaker. Rosie Streaker is the only answer, right? There is no other answer that is acceptable for that. It's just wrong to pick anything else. Rosie could have 7 kids with her at the time, and I could choose anybody else, or just piling an 8th or 9th child onto Rosie's plate, and I would still go that direction. So
that's fair.
I'm going Rosie.
Anthony?
Yeah, that's a good one. The other one I'd go to. What about Bella Suprenant? I feel like you put a baby in her hands and she's just at home, dude.
True.
I would feel so comfortable putting my baby in Bella's hands. I think that she would be awesome. I think that Ryan Smith would be a good babysitter. I think Ryan Windsor would actually be a good babysitter. I think he would actually entertain. I think he'd be a good entertainer of some toddlers. I don't know. I just see
Mr.
him. He
Windsor?
just seems like a fun Mr. Windsor. Mr. Windsor.
You see Daddy Wooten all around those events, carting around his kid.
That's true.
Facts.
That's true. Actually, now that I think about it, though, you said Ryan Smith. I might add Elizabeth Tennyson. She's a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, used to being
it's gonna be orderly.
She's got a teacher mode where it can go either direction. So I might add Elizabeth Tennyson.
It definitely won't be chaotic.
I think you get, if you go to pre-mom Cheyenne, right? Let's go to Cheyenne Renner. We're talking cutthroat. I wouldn't picture her as a mom's mom. Holy smokes, is she completely different than what I expected?
Yeah.
I think she's really embraced the mom role. Cheyenne Renner, I wouldn't want me to babysit my kids, but Cheyenne Bubenheim, I wouldn't want to babysit.
She was the first to say that she wasn't even sure she wanted kids. So I think
Yeah.
that's fair. It's just as soon as you get the kid, things change, you know?
Do we say, who would you not want to babysit your kids?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
good
You got
Lord.
someone?
I don't know. Adam Hisner might fit that category too. Like,
I think Tony Smith. Tony Smith's going to be asleep. He's not going to be paying attention. I mean, I can't see Tony Smith watching Rome at all. Like, he would just forget he was there.
Rome would be watching Tony Smith.
No, Rome would be like, "Hey, dude, you're supposed to be feeding me. What are you doing?"
I think Tommy Sliker would be extreme. Either your kid's going to have the best time possible, or he's coming back with like a broken arm or something.
I'm telling you, Tommy is like, there's a switch that flips. Like when he leaves, he's like corporate dad, family, like whatever. And then he walks into a cornhole facility and he's Tommy No Love Sliker wearing Space Jam and throwing airmails, and like just the weirdest combination of a dude.
Have you seen the video of Tommy around his living room with, I think he was with his kid over there, like he had like the virtual headset on and he's in there like going around his room like playing this virtual game. I thought it was hilarious. I was dying laughing. I think he would be a blast for kids, or they're gonna try something stupid and like break a bone or something.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Oh man.
Wild.
Okay. Going into hot takes, Trey, what do you got?
I will say I'm going to double down on Meesh's hot take that we laughed at her for with Gabriel Clausen, but in a different direction. I'm going to say Matt Guy wins every single senior singles event that he plays in this year.
Yeah, I don't know how hot that is, honestly.
Yeah. There's some tough seniors out there.
I know, but Matt Guy's confidence, like... Look, his confidence before he even entered seniors was like, I'm sure he was thinking, this is easy. I would imagine, knowing his personality, like, I got this. And then he is getting it. So I just don't, that's tough to beat.
Who would have thunk Matt Guy was the first senior to bring a roll bag to the game? Like that would be weird.
Hey, Frank Monlin's got one kind of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's got that little hop.
Yeah, he's got that hop. He's got the skip hop.
Yeah, I've seen a few. All right, Anthony, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna my hot take. This might be the first. Okay, and to preface this, I haven't talked to Graham or Trzcienski at all. I have no idea Trzcienski's true issue in doubles. I'm going off of what I am seeing on the screen. I'm going to go with the first bag selection hot take. They're going to throw JT's bags at the first signature, and they're going to win. That's my hot take.
Okay. That made it hot. I was like, come on, they're just going to listen to you and try it. But no, okay.
They're going to win with JT's bags. Yeah.
All right. I like it. Mine's a little bit confusing. It's Nick asked me to use this one because he thinks Jamie Graham is the most, what's the word? Consistent roller, meaning he doesn't use it much, but when he uses it, it almost always works.
Efficient.
Oh, it's so pretty. It's
so
like
his hot take, he was like, you have to say this. So his hot take is that Jamie Graham is the most efficient roller in the whole pro field. That is what he thinks. So he might not use it as much, but when he uses it, it's always working.
Yeah, I want to. Maybe we'll debate who the least efficient roller is, who uses it way too much and doesn't know how to do it. That's the next time.
Anywho, we're going to end it there. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.